hallway, please release them to the cafeteria to be loaded at this time. Thank you.
Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and start the video. You guys remember what organisms are?
Yeah. All living things in ecosystem.
Yeah. Alright, a lot of people, or not a lot, but some students have been struggling to read this, especially those sitting in the back, so if you guys need to see we have one up here. Alright, I'll go ahead and read this for you guys. Alright, so a short-term environmental change is a short-term environmental change happens within a day to 100 years. So the important part of this is that it happens relatively fast. To us, 100 years is like a lifetime essentially, but to the rest of the world, it's actually it's a really quick time period. So some examples would be a rapid climate change, habitat being disturbed, or change in some type of way, or a natural disaster. Alright, so the thing I want you guys to know is that it happens fast and in a time frame. So a day to 100 years. Yeah. You guys write this on the left. So you guys are going to write the definitions and then examples that the video shows. And so we can progress. If you guys don't mind, put your pencils down whenever you're done, so I know what to do.
Can we look at the examples?
Yeah, we're gonna go on depth. Are we good, guys?
Yeah.
30 more seconds. Now this next part that's coming up, a lot of students are confusing this part. Alright, so the three examples are volcanoes, habitat destruction, and then a blizzard. Can anybody tell me how this is a short-term environmental change?
You can grow that.
By raising your hand. Aiden?
No,
Nothing.
it's wait, move.
Alright, so how is a habitat destruction a short-term environmental change? I get you. Can you tell us?
At this time, we're going to go with the D hallway. D hallway. If you have a band, you can check the in into the cafeteria. D as in dog.
Bye, Mr. Ratchet.
Alright, guys, let's see you guys tomorrow.
I think it starts at 6.
Teachers, please make sure that they have a wristband on their wrist. If they do not have a wristband, they're going to be sent back to your classroom. Again, teachers should be checking every student, making sure they have a wristband on their wrist. You have C hallway. Any students on the C hallway that have wristbands to the play, please send them to the cafeteria this time. C and D hallway only. Thank you.
Are you two mind moving here?
And could you?
And then can you move here? Because we're gonna do teams.
It looks like it's girls against boys.
We're always still away.
Alright, so what were you saying for the non count?
Because they cut everything down less than 100 years and they
Perfect.
can go back.
Yeah, so essentially the thing that everybody keeps confusing is that because it's gonna take a long time for the trees to grow back, they think that makes it a long-term environment. But the reason why this is a short-term is because this bulldozer knocked out a bunch of the woods in a moderately fast time. So it didn't take them over 100 years to knock out a big chunk of the woods. Does that make sense? Alright. And then a volcano? Short-term what?
Because it can
Cause
create
it's gonna, it's gonna,
It's
Raise
not.
your hand, one person. Thank you.
because it can create islands.
Alright, at this time, all B hallway
That's a
teachers,
long-
please check your students' wrists to see if they have a wristband. If they have a wristband, send them back to the cafeteria
Short-term
this
is
time. B hallway and then boy.
is by destroying habitat. So like essentially if people live down here, it'll destroy their homes or stuff like that. And then the big thing that I want you guys to know the difference between both is that a short term doesn't allow enough time for like animals and stuff to adapt. So essentially they won't have enough time to genetically adapt to the environment. Does that make sense? Right. Alright, so again, you guys don't have to write this word for word, but long-term environmental changes happen very slowly and last a long time. Some examples would be an ice age, continental drift, or a change in what the atmosphere is made of. So the important stuff I want you guys to know is that it's very slow, and that it can last a long time. Alright, so that's like the two big parts.
Changing what the what's in.
In the atmosphere is made of. And the pictures are gonna help. Move that part of it. Are we good? Are you guys writing this on the left or the right side?
right.
Good side.
What is the bottom?
Atmosphere is made of. Alright, so as far as this goes, you guys already wrote them down. So how is the ice age or an ice age long term?
Alright, at this time, A hallway, please check your students' wristbands, and send them down to the cafeteria this time. A hallway.
Can you help us out?
Cause
It takes a long time to like break down ice for like food.
That's partly right. So essentially, you have something to add?
then it takes a long time to reform back, like,
So, I mean, both of you guys are right.
It would take a good amount of time for the ice to melt fully.
Yeah, and for it to actually
Yeah.
form. So essentially, it takes over 100 years for it to make any type of change. And then continental drift, it's still going on today.
doesn't it break up the land?
Yeah, the plates.
Yeah.
It takes multiple, like, hundreds, thousands of years for like the plates to move, and then for the animals to also adapt to the environment that
Perfect.
it moves to.
Can you add on to that last part, the animals adapting?
Like, because they change to different areas, and so the climate's different, so they have to also adapt to the
That's
changes.
spot on, good job.
Just like birds.
Yeah, birds are good. That's foreshadowing, by the way, guys. Just a heads up. Alright, so how short-term changes affect organisms. So since short-term happens quickly, remember a short time period, organisms respond in small ways where they potentially change back. So a quick one that's a really easy way to remember it is that if a volcano was to kill off a bird's favorite type of insect to eat, the bird could simply find another insect to eat so that they can stay alive. Or can anybody guess what the other part is? Since we're talking about birds.
You just die.
I mean, that could, short term, my bad guys. So in short term environmental changes, because it happens so fast and the organisms don't have enough time to adapt, they can potentially become.
Alright, at this time, G hallway teachers, please check your students' wristbands and send them to the cafeteria. G hallway.
Yeah, I mean you're right, but no bird really wants to die, so they're gonna try to do something else.
What were we going right there?
For this one, just write that it happens
Very
quickly and that they respond in small ways. So essentially, since they have wings, they could migrate. They could fly to another location that has insects for them to actually eat. And then the ones that don't have that capability of doing that are the insects. They can probably fly some distance, but they're still gonna get.
When they migrate, can they still find insects to eat?
Yeah, so essentially that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to like fly around until they can find something that could sustain their diet. Okay.
Alright, at this time, all remaining classes, gyms, band, any group that I missed, please check your students' wrists at this time. Send those students to the cafeteria for the play. Thank you.
Alright, then for this one, how long-term changes affect organisms. When a long-term change occurs, organisms can begin to gradually adapt. You guys know what the word gradually means?
Slowly.
Slowly.
So,
So you guys see the difference between both?
yeah,
Between how the other one, they can adapt in small ways, but this one they can gradually adapt to.
Cause they have time.
Yeah, that time.
Is that
Do
supposed-
we,
Yeah, because
this is a long one.
typo, yeah. Whoever made this video has a couple typos in there, but it's all good. Alright, can happen slowly. An example of this would be if an ice age was to occur, many animals would start to grow much thicker hair, or paws would be better at gripping the ground. So then this way they can help survive the drastic change. And we have a pretty good example. Have you guys noticed that a grizzly bear and a polar bear are different?
Yeah.
How?
Well,
Fur.
Color.
Fur color is a good one.
like thicker skin.
Yeah, they have with blubber. They have a good layer of blubber to keep them.
The type of teeth.
Kinda. I mean, they both have the same type of teeth, but essentially their food sources are different. You have something? No. Are we good with this slide? Or
Isn't it like the wolf mammoths and like the elephants, how like they grew hair, they grew tusks, and they're
So-
thicker?
that's actually pretty good because in the Ice Age, a lot of the mammoths they didn't have enough time to. Whenever it was starting to like the Ice Age was coming to an end, they all ended up dying out because they weren't able to adapt. And then they were hunted by us like way back in the day.
Was that over 100 years ago?
Oh, that's a long time. Technically, we're still in an Ice Age now. Actually, we're in an Ice Age period.
Can we survive an ice age? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean the mammoths were hunted by humans at that time, so we were already around. We look kind of different, but yeah, we were. And then the paws thing is pretty cool. Like a polar bear, they have hair, so they could grip onto the ice and then like sit there and move on. So that ties back into our physics stuff. You guys remember what the opposing force is? Friction. Good job.
Right.
What's up?
So you know how like we're in front of water long time?
It
Our
has
finger,
been-
yeah.
Mhm.
Like they get wrinkled, like how do you
That's it's pruning. And pruning is a real word for it, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
So then what do like polar penguins do? Like how is their
Penguins, they have like since they don't really fly, their body's made more to like be able to dive and go through water.
then the bears they're
The bears, they have like the claws and stuff so that they could tear into whatever they're trying to grab, so that they can kill you faster than and grip on stuff. That's a good connection. But that happens to our hands so that we can have better grip.
Yeah, underwater.
Yeah. All right, how do we create this? So essentially, if you guys ask which side it goes on, so it's destroying habitats is slow environmental change or long? Slow. Okay, good job. And then polluting? We learned about this last week.
No, it'd be slow.
Will somebody raise their hand and let us know?
Slow.
Slow. Why?
Because it's not gonna be over 100 years to like.
So it happens.
It's gonna take under.
Yeah, good job. Alright, so we good on this one?
Wait, which one? What is that?
Slow, because these are slow environmental changes. And so even though it's small changes, they can play a huge, like super huge role in how much they can change the environment. Like with the plastic bottles and stuff, like the stuff we saw last week. And then smog is also really huge, like in Los Angeles. If you guys ever see the picture, you can see the smog and stuff. And it's really gross, but we're trying to work on that. Alright, so recap, hopefully you guys took pretty good notes. But pretty much the environment changes all the time. It's not like it takes a break or something, it's just always going. So, and then some changes are big, like an ice age, because that affects like a huge part. And then some are smaller, like a volcano eruption. And then that's not saying that volcanoes are small, but it's just like, according to what we're learning today, it's a small compared to water. And these are categorized either long-term or short-term environmental changes. Organisms, this is the important part. So organisms have to adapt to each and are greatly affected. You have a question? Alrighty, so since we're smaller in groups, we're gonna have to switch to 3 teams instead of 8.
Number 8.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 8 groups, hopefully, but
Should be even one odd.
okay.
So what about this thing?
Alright, so to give you guys some choice, you guys can come up with your team name, but it has to be an animal though.
No.
So group 1, your group numbers are on the bottom left corner, closer to me, or farther. Alright, so what do you guys gonna be? My team. What do you guys? Wales?
That's a real one.
What are you guys? Snow leopard?
Oh yeah, I have to. I have like 16.
Who would be the vicious shark?
Why did you choose?
I'll give you
Sharks are good, man.
Shark. Yeah, we want that. Yeah, we want to be
That
that.
big sharks instead?
Yeah, vicious shark.
Alright guys, so to make sure we get through this, I know since it's competition, a lot of us can get a little out of hand. So if you guys are getting too loud, what's going to happen is, even if you have your hand risen up, or you're ready to answer the question, but you're being too loud, I'll call in another group so that they can have a chance. Alright, so on this part, everybody has 2 sheets, a green and an orange one. Alright, so what's going to happen is, right now I'm going to give you guys a quick recap on the stuff, but I'm going to put up a picture of like different environmental changes. So if it corresponds to a short, you'll put up the short one. And if it corresponds to a long term, you'll put up the long one. So the first group I see put it up, we'll get the chance to get the points. Does that make sense? Alright. Alright, so recap from the video, what I want you guys to know is that short-term environmental changes are changes that occur in an ecosystem and affect organisms directly. You guys know how to put the word directly? Why?
That's the only thing we're talking about.
Because it happens then.
Not necessary, so it happens what?
Then, like now.
Right then and there, right? And then the other big part that I told you guys about short-term, that doesn't give them enough time to Alright, so long-term environmental change that occurs slowly over time and affects organisms over generations. So that gives us enough time to what? Alright. And then I forgot to mention, guys, but the objective today, what you guys are gonna be able to do, is explore how short and long-term environmental changes affect organisms and traits in subsequent populations. Alright? Alright, so this is a quick little thing. If you're wearing white shoes in your group, tell me one thing you learned from the video.
Oh, I get
Slides.
these.
You have the white shoes.
Oh,
Who's white shoes?
Oh, they
Gray.
gray.
No,
Yours is gray. I have white on.
That's close enough. Group two?
no, he got white shoes too.
80. 80.
No, he
Say,
Come on.
he got more white than
what did you learn from the video?
Alright, Aiden. You count this one?
They're green. No, this was green.
Okay.
So who wins in group two?
Oh, I can help.
Okay, alright guys, so what's gonna happen is, since you're here, if you're at the corner where you have the number with the tape on it, you'll be or in this case, for you guys it'll be different, but whenever I put up the questions, whoever's at the seat with the number on it is gonna be the first one to go. So if your group raises up first, whoever's at that seat will be the one to answer. And then once the next question pops up, the person to your clock, we're gonna go in a clockwise motion, that person will be the next one.
Well,
That way we can get everybody to go.
we raise our head or we
You'll raise that. So you'll raise it if it's a long term or that one if it's a short term. Alright? Alright, who's wearing a red shirt? Nobody?
Not me.
White shoes.
You have red on your shirt.
Alright, blue. Blue.
You have red
Black.
on your shirt.
Alright, give me an example of a short term.
Environment. No. What other?
Well, okay. Deforestation. Yeah. Pollution.
Volcanoes.
Okay. Kind of cheating, but it's fine. Alright, so I need you guys to flip your paper over, the T-chart, and then number 1 through, it's like actually higher than 13, but just 13 is fine enough. So flip over your T-chart. On the left, I want you guys to write short term again, and on the right, I want you guys to write long term.
Again, like short and long.
Alrighty.
Number 13.
Yeah, 1 through 13. Alright, so try not to cheat, guys, alright? Trying to keep this fair. Alright, you guys ready? Everybody good to go? Put it down. Alright, for that one, I'll give you guys a point. But for the following one. Alright, short term or long term? We got a long term, we got a short term. You already answered yours. Why is it a short term?
Because the fire can quickly kill the trees and animals.
Good stuff. You guys are the snow leopards? Okay. Actually, yeah, she was supposed to go first. But in this case, you'll go next. But yeah, good job. Alright, guys, we got. Oh, a quick fact check. So if you're an odd number, so you two, wait, you're even. We got one odd. Okay, so you're group. Alright, if you're wearing a full color hoodie or a shirt, I need you guys to answer this. So, Jaden, you'll be able to answer this. So, what's the main difference between a short and long term environmental change?
Short, you cannot adapt that fast. The long you can.
Okay.
The short you can die, the long you can adapt. To survive.
The population will adapt. Good job. Alright, so they get a point because that was pretty spot on. Alright, flooding. We got short. There first. You can't be sleeping or else you're going to miss out on points. Alright, you. How's your short? Other than it happens fast.
Flooding is short term because it happens fast. It destroys many of the habitats and homes of animals and people. And like it can leave them like homeless and it can kill them like drowning them.
Good job. That gets a bonus point because you went above him there. Good job. Oh man, you guys are slipping.
I shake hands at 5.
Alright, pollution, short or long? We got short.
We got a friend.
Where are you going with? You guys move long? We got whales.
I have to answer why it's a short term.
No. Well, you already answered, right? Or no? Alright, so now it's just your answer. Why is it short?
Oh, I haven't answered this. Oh, short term.
Remember,
because
it's not if it's graduate, it's how fast it can impact you.
because it's like it happens fast. It doesn't go over time. and like it does grow over time, but like it happens relatively fast, and then it can be fixed pretty fast also.
Hopefully, that's what we're trying to do. But yeah, good job.
We didn't get it?
Huh?
We didn't get the answer?
No, they went first.
Wow. Yeah, you
I remember long.
You have a question?
How fast they can impact.
So it's more about, remember with the deforestation, it's not how fast it can come back, but how fast it affects it. Alright, ready for the next one? Alright, to make it fair, you have to have it on the table, because that's cheating. Or you have an advantage. Alright? Alright, so even number, now we have 2 even groups. Alright, if your birthday comes before March. Anybody?
No.
Before September?
Oh,
Yeah, oh, I was like,
I'll
even
like
groups. So it's 2 and 8.
What if it's in September?
That works too. Alright, so who here is your September what?
27.
You? What about you guys?
July 21st.
July? Okay. Huh?
I'm August.
Okay, so you can answer and then you can answer. Alright, so what type of change environmental change is an oil spill in the ocean?
Short term because it spills in the ocean really, really fast and it can cause like dead zones and stuff.
That's actually really good job. You?
Can I answer the same?
Something, if you can differentiate it, then go.
The oil spill caused most of the animals to die in a really tough period of time.
That's a good one. Alright, I'll give you guys the points for that. Alright, man, we got this 8 has the lead, pretty nice lead. Ice Age.
Oh, he got it.
Alright, I saw Jay go first. Alright, so did you already answer or no?
No. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I did it.
No, not yet. Alright, so why is it a long term?
Like you said with the mammals, or like.
We can't copy the last one, that's huge.
I mean, so I say because basically what they said about the tectonic or the plate, well, they have to do something with it. I forgot what they said. Don't give
Can
me
you guys help them out?
please.
I can help John.
No, no,
You
no.
can still do your point.
No.
Oh, me?
Go.
Just tell him, just tell him.
Oh yeah, it's a long term because it takes a long time for the ice to melt.
Answer point, bless you. Good job. Nice save, nice save.
Oh, it's just the same.
Deforestation, short or long?
Oh.
That's wrong.
Cheating, no.
Alright, so guys,
I can answer, right?
you know, you already answered for the September one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you answered
Is
this.
it Ralph or Renee?
Alright guys, I need to hear what he's saying. You should be the only one talking.
Short term because it can happen like in less than 100 years, and animals don't have time to adapt.
So what will happen?
They don't have homes and stuff because the trees get cut down, and the only thing they can do is like go to other places, but then they'll get cut down too, and they can't adapt quick enough.
Very good, good job. Did everybody hear what he said?
Yeah.
I bet. Drop. Jaden was right. Jaden had
I
a
told you!
split second, but alright. What? Guys, I need to hear what they have to say. Baby.
Yes. Yes.
Can I steal the next one?
Not yet. We gotta give him a little chance, at least.
It's short term because it happens very quickly.
Okay, give me a little bit more than that.
One little.
You can help him out, John.
I already got the answer.
Help us.
It happens between 1 day to 100 years.
No, it happens. It happens under, like 50 days. Because California had a drought. It was long, but not that long.
I'll give you the points because I'm from California, so. I'm being biased. Good job. Hurricane.
He got it.
Nah.
No, he got it.
He got it. Alright. So, someone from here, did everybody talk already?
Yeah.
Alright, John.
These people can recover it like Harvey. People got it through like before a year.
That's good.
I mean, it was, they're still recovering.
Yeah, they're still.
Some, but the most part,
Most people.
a good amount in Houston was able to recover from it after a year. It was actually pretty bad, but good job. Volcano.
He
Wait,
got
I thought there was
it.
gonna
He
be a
got
question.
it.
There's supposed to be a question.
He got it.
I'm keeping you on your toes so you
He got it.
He got it. Dude, he's sleeping. Go. Alright,
Oh,
who's next?
Oh, so like it's short term because the animals like they can, even though their habitats got destroyed from the volcano, the habitat can like recover and they can build up their habitat in like less than 100 years.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Do you know what else happens when the volcano erupts? Good job. The atmosphere also gets
From the ash.
You started coughing on that.
you guys are good too.
Doesn't a volcano change the climate too?
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
Oh, because there's
Here's just a couple years at the most.
Yeah. Climate change.
Oh.
You got her. She was a little bit faster than you guys.
Oh.
Alright, so who how do you no, she went. So now it's your turn.
Okay, climate change can, like the polar bear, if it gets warmer, it's not gonna have a place to live. It's like, climate change is long term because, oh no, I got it. Climate change.
You guys are on the same team, you're fine.
Okay,
Alright man, if you guys don't hurry, I'm gonna give it away.
Can I steal?
I heard her. She said, nah, she was on the right track. Alright guys, we have a tie now. We're gonna have to switch this up. Alright, so for these, alright, you guys are gonna put your papers down. So for this one, what we're gonna have to do is, there's gonna be a series of questions, and then these you'll put on your actual, the 1 through,
the 1 to 13.
yeah, 1 through 13. So what you guys are gonna do is, I'm gonna put the question, and the first person from that group that raises their hand, they'll answer that question. Alright? But the same person can't keep answering the same question. So, like someone from the group can raise, and then you guys can help them out. Alright? And time out. I forgot to mention this. Don't raise your hand until I'm done reading the question, because then that's fair. Because you guys do it and then read your question. Alright? So what would happen if there was a disease that killed the majority of the mice? You raised it before I was finished. Go.
The mouse is one of the source of food. The main
For?
source of food for the owls. So
And then what would happen?
the owls would decrease.
Good job. And these are word 2 points, guys. So they're either gonna smoke you guys or you guys can catch up.
Wait, so what would be that?
Just write that the owls would be affected.
That's number 1 on your
Yeah,
paper.
owls would decrease.
On short term or long term?
Those don't have to do with that. But I mean, technically it would be a
Short.
short term because it happens fast. Are you guys ready for the next one? Alright. Which animal would be affected if there were pesticides added to the grass? I have heard first. Remember, the pesticides to the grass.
The deer and the mouse because it eats the grass. So
And
everything would die out because everything would house and the deer eat the grass.
and then who else gets hurt?
The
owl.
owls.
Good job, the owl. You guys see why the owl, right?
Yeah.
Because then his food source would be gone because the mouse can't eat it.
Deeply.
You guys are getting left behind, man. Group 1. Are you guys ready? Alright, switching over to marine food web. Alright, does everybody know what the top predator is called for a bonus point?
Whale.
What the name?
Or
No. No, I'm not talking about this, but in any food web.
Oh,
Tertiary
Top-
consumer.
Not necessarily.
You yelled it
There's
out.
a certain word that I need somebody to raise their hand.
What's the question?
What's the name of the top predator?
Apex predator.
Good job.
Apex Legends.
There's a video game.
Which means
Apex is like the top predator.
Oh, that's what they call it.
Alright, so wait until I'm finished. That's why the name Apex Legends. Alright, so what would happen if the phytoplankton were not getting enough sunlight? Like this.
The phytoplankton would die off,
And then,
the zooplankton would die because that's their own food source,
and then.
and then small fish would die because the zooplankton.
So what's the big picture?
So everything would die.
Not necessarily die, but they'll decrease and then eventually.
Everything would decrease?
Because if these go, then these go, then those go, and those go. It's like the domino effect.
Because nothing has like the resource to feed off of, or the decreases.
Hey, Trace. That Zoom Monday. Zoom Monday, the other Trace. Yeah. What you just did.
Alright, you guys see how this is a domino, right? You knock one down and the rest is follow. Alright. Who would be affected? And I forgot, I worded this wrong, but who would be the immediate one to get affected when I'm finished reading? Who would be affected if an oil spill killed a lot of the big fish?
The seal thing,
And then?
and then,
And then who?
then the killer whale.
Okay, good job.
Are
you
you
guys-
the orca whale?
The same thing, killer whale.
What's the small fish, increase?
Huh? Yeah. That's what was my next thing. So since they're gone, these would, why?
Because there's not a predator that will like get out and kill them.
Good job. Alright, so this picture's kind of hard to see, but it's the best one I could find. Alright, so we got a hawk, a snake, mouse, grasshopper, grass, and then decomposers. Alright? Alright, so my question to you guys is, what if a flood killed and reduced the population of mice? Yeah, I didn't finish in your first. Go.
Then the snakes and the hawks would decrease and the grasshoppers would increase.
Good job, that's actually perfect. You just barely took the lead, good job. Alright, what if there was a disease that killed the majority of hawks? Your team can't go, you go.
Oh, because the snakes will increase. The snakes will decrease and
What would decrease?
no.
No, I mean, they're gone. So these are getting eaten, what else is getting decreased?
The decrease.
No. Anybody want to steal the point?
Can we help them out? Can we help them out?
Boy, can we help out?
So
Yeah, you guys can help them out.
Yeah. The mouse.
The mouse would,
Decrease.
and what else would increase because they're gone?
The grasshopper.
Good job. Do you guys see how that works?
yes.
Wait, what goes to the decomposers?
The hawk. So whenever he dies, it'll decompose and then.
If decomposers die off, if not enough things die.
I mean, decomposers like should rely on like small stuff. Yeah. Alright, so adaptation importance is a big word we've been using all day today. Alright, so adaptation is the ability of an animal to adjust to its environment over time. You know, like it'll over a gradual time. And they can change either genetically or behaviorally. You guys see why?
Yeah.
Alright. And then animals adapt themselves to their physical environment for getting food, protection, and survival. Alright, so examples of adaptations on your paper, I want you guys to write different adaptations that you guys know, at least 4. So the ones that I'm providing you guys with is Canadian geese. And it's not just the Canadian geese, but we also, have you guys seen birds fly at certain times of the year? So essentially what they're doing too is they're flying to get to a warmer climate so that they can actually get
What's
food.
something that has already died out, but like has in the past adapted and then eventually died out? Would that still count?
I mean, there's like, you mean like species, like
Yeah.
certain stuff? Yeah, I mean like there's certain,
Like woolly mammoths?
yeah, and then they also have like relatives and stuff that, when you guys get into biology, you'll see how all that stuff works. Like you'll see chains and then how certain stuff branch off and then how each is dependent on whatever they're around. And then for this one, Arctic fox has thick fur to keep it warm. And then, so even though they're small, they have to have some type of like insulation so that they don't die of cold temperatures. Chipmunks, have you guys ever seen when they walk around with their mouths full? So essentially they're collecting food. And then ducks have webbed feet to help them swim. We also have webbing in our hands. It's not a lot because we don't spend most of our time in the water, but we do have some. And then that's when Aiden said that whenever you have your hand in water and it's all pruning, like that's our body chunks that help us. Yeah, but like that.
Doesn't it make us more like we can grab stuff?
So it helps with good. Alright, the Galapagos finches. Do you guys remember hearing that last year?
Oh,
Yes.
Alright, so what made them significant?
They
Can
all
you raise your hand?
They have different beaks,
4?
different types of food.
Good job. So for these, you notice how this one has like a shorter beak, but it's a lot thicker. So these are the same ones that eat seeds. And then these are the probing beaks. You see how theirs are like long and like skinny, and these are the ones that eat like insects, so they can like pick at them.
They go for birds, the one that eat fish.
They're not the Galapagos ones, but yeah. And then we have these like the small tree finch, and then like this one's a fruit eater, so his is a little different than the ones that would eat insects. Do we all see that?
Is there one that can eat like nectar from like?
You mean like a hummingbird?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean they're probably not.
Not finches.
Yeah, they're not finches. Those are a different type of
And then
bird.
little tiny.
Yeah. And then sharks. I'm a huge fan of sharks, so I'm gonna try to help you guys see this. All right, so what type of adaptation do you see the whale shark? These bottom right one.
They don't have teeth.
Like a
They don't have teeth, so what do they eat?
fish.
Yeah, they eat like krill and stuff like that. They just like that stuff. Yeah, it's like super tiny fish and stuff like that.
They can't eat fish like that.
They don't have many teeth.
Yeah.
All right, but I need you guys to raise your hand. What about the great white? What do you know about the great white?
Yeah, they eat fish, like big fish because they have teeth to do it with.
To tear apart the stuff. Good job. What about a hammerhead?
They can.
Raise your hand.
I don't know.
What's up? What's up?
The hammerheads had a sense so they detect stingrays.
You're the first person today to get that right. Good job. I'm a huge fan of hammerheads, but I'm a diehard great white shark. But yeah, I like them a lot because they actually do have like sensors and stuff, so that they can pick up fish and stuff that are trying to hide under the water.
Can't they see like
See more
where the,
stuff.
like,
All right, exit ticket. All right, so if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and write them on the back. Like if you want me to like touch up on anything tomorrow, that way you guys, if you have any questions.
write much down?
That's okay. No, I'm saying like on the exit ticket where Ms. Becker just gave you. All right, so what I want you guys to do is, I gave you guys a blank. Can I see yours real quick? All right, so I gave you guys a blank environmental changes, so that you guys can choose whichever one you like the best. You can either write down short or long, and then what I want you guys to do is tell me what makes it a short or a long-term environmental change, and then give me an example. And then at the bottom I wrote key terms to use, which is adaptation, trait, biotic, and abiotic.
Do we have to use all of them?
Not all. I just want you guys to use at least 2.
So who won?
I'll let you guys know right now. If you guys have any questions, let me know. So, just a quick recap. You guys won by 1 point. You guys had 11. They had 10, and you guys had 5.
Girls are smarter than guys.
Or faster.
Today.
Who was the world, boys?
Good job, guys. You guys came close, but it was a hard fought. You want to know which one?
Can we all get a candy for Tron?
No, that's all, babe.
I have one more class, but I need you guys to finish that because this is what I'm gonna see what I need to touch up on later. And then I'll collect these as you guys go out the door. And since you guys took the notes, hopefully you guys took good notes, you guys can use that to write your exit ticket.
Don't forget to bring those notes back.
Yeah, and then tomorrow you guys are gonna use that, so don't lose them. The T chart. All right.
Don't forget the objective is also writing complete sentences. Yeah, you gotta have a verb in there.
If you write an example, it helps. Oh. I'll take it whenever you guys are. You guys, if you can make it at least 4 sentences, because I need to make sure you guys actually got like a good chunk of info today.
Okay.
Because 2 sentences won't cut it.
You can always give examples. That would be like you need to.
And if you guys finish early, just if you do happen to have any questions, just write them on the back, and then I'll get with you guys tomorrow.
Sit in your chairs.
Alright, guys, thanks.
Give it 2 minutes, walk out. It's your ticket now. With a really good sentences of. You'll be reading.
It's volume of the rock.
Bye-bye, Lawrence.
Always bring my notepad now in case my malfunctioning.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, make sure you don't lose that.
Okay.
Now I can pause this. I drained my